The sun was coming through the trees. It's gone behind the clouds. It keeps peeking out a little bit. Oh. Morning, campers. Just a quick shot from my hotel room before I leave. About to get my Lyft driver. It's going to arrive soon. Just thought I'd shoot the trash bin in my hotel bathroom is completely stuffed, as is the trash bin over here. That's stuffed. I got a box behind it, another box to the side, pizza box here. I got my backpack ready to go, and I got my postal box ready to go. So I left a $5 tip for the maid because I felt bad with all the garbage. So I got to get downstairs, wait for my Lyft driver. He's going to take me to the post office, and then from there I'm going to hit the trail. So I'll report back once I'm on the trail. Just waiting outside the Econolodge here for my Lyft ride. I scheduled it for 8:15 to 8:25 because the post office opens at 8:30. So I got a confirmation from Lyft. There's my stuff. Confirmation from Lyft that my ride is scheduled, and they should be arriving shortly. So I'm just waiting for them, and they better not fall through. I'll tell you that, because I am not hoofing it 2.25 miles back to the post office with probably close to 35 pounds on my back in the sun. Let's see, it's sunny out. Carrying a box again. So fingers crossed. See what happens. Just went to the post office, dropped off my package, came across the street to this gas station and asked him if he had a restroom, and he pointed me to a room toward the back that said employees only, and I said, that door on the right? He said, yeah. So I went in, and sure enough there was a toilet in there, so I really had to go. So I felt obligated to buy something, so I bought a little Nutty Buddy cone here. I'm going to enjoy this, and then I'm going to get back on the trail. Okay, I'm off the main noisy highway. I'm now on a quiet little side street, residential street, walking through Dalton. I guess it's about a mile stretch of this. So I thought I'd just bring you up to speed. So I decided I'm not going to go all the way to Mount Greylock today. That would be a 17-mile hike, which is pretty good distance. The problem is, after Cheshire, the first 5 miles is straight uphill. Mount Greylock is the highest point in Massachusetts. I've got about the heaviest pack I could possibly carry. It's probably in the mid-30s right now. At least 32, 33, possibly 35 pounds. So there's 4 reasons I decided to break it up into 2 days rather than try to do a straight shot. Number 1, the weight I'm carrying. Very heavy. I'll be able to eat some food today, and in the morning, and head out a little bit less weight, between 1 to 2 pounds less weight than I have now. Not a big difference, but every little bit counts. Number 2, I'm getting a late start. It's almost 10 o'clock. I had to go to the post office. They didn't open until 8:30. Had trouble getting a ride. Lyft, I scheduled a Lyft ride yesterday for this morning. Never showed up. Apparently when you schedule, here's a tip by the way, when you say I'm scheduling a ride, they don't actually commit a driver to pick you up at that time. They'll say, oh, you're scheduled. All that means is they've got you down as wanting a ride at that time, at that location. And then what they do is they say, oh, it's 8:15, this guy wants a ride. Let's see if there's any drivers available. That's when they start looking for drivers. They don't get a driver to commit ahead of time. So even though you've quote unquote scheduled a ride, you haven't done any such thing. All you've done is scheduled a request for a ride. And there were no drivers available. I tried Uber. No drivers available. Luckily, in the AWOL guide, they listed a shuttle driver in the area. Debbie, and I texted her, and she said she could come get me in 20 to 30 minutes. It was about 30 minutes. $10, drove me to the post office. It was less than 2.5 miles, but she came out, got me, drove me there, gave her $10. I was in business. So I got to the post office late. I got to the post office, 9:15, 9:20. Then I went across the street to the gas station. I I had to use the restroom. He let me use it even though it was labeled employees only. So I bought an ice cream cone from him. Anyway, so that's reason number 2 is a late start. Reason number 3 is supposed to get up to 80 today, 80, 81. So that's pretty warm. Hiking uphill. And what was the 4th reason? I'm forgetting what it was. Let's see, the weight, the uphill, the heat, and I don't know. I had thought of another reason. I can't think of it right now off the top of my head. But the weather. The weather's supposed to be nice today. And Cheshire has a hiker square where you can camp. They have a porta potty, which I assume has toilet paper. They have water, potable water. You don't have to filter your water. And they have charging outlets. So I can top up my phone, my other devices again before I leave. So I'll have an extra day of charge on everything. So I don't have to worry about using up my phone today shooting video. So anyway, that's my plan. The one downside is because I'm not doing the whole 17-mile shot today, I have to make up a partial day. I have to basically add 1 to 1.5 miles to each of my next 8 or 9 days, or to make up for that extra day that I took. So it'll mean a little bit longer walking on a couple of the days over the next week. My goal being getting into Killington, Vermont by Friday, because I'm taking a 0 on Saturday, because next Saturday is my birthday. So I'm going to spend the day relaxing, editing videos, probably having to go to resupply. There's a motel right next to the post office, so I'll just stay there. They have a hiker rate, $94 on the weekend, and I'll spend my birthday there. So that's my plan. That's cool. They have a AT medallion right in the sidewalk here in Dalton. So as you're walking down the sidewalk, you know, little medallions here and there, indicating it's the Appalachian Trail. Okay, so I just took a break. Coming out of Dalton, there's an uphill climb. Went for quite a ways. It's probably close to a mile, or at least 3/4 of a mile. I've come about 2.5 miles so far from the town. I got about 6.5 to go to Cheshire. So I was just drenched in sweat. It's kind of humid, and there's no wind. It's not that warm though. It's probably 70, 75, right around in there. The sun was coming through the trees. It's gone behind the clouds. It keeps peeking out a little bit. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna kill myself. But I was just sweating, carrying this much weight on my back. I had to put my bandana on at first for the sun, because I was walking down the sidewalk and the sun was beating down on me from behind. I didn't want my ears and my neck getting burned. And then once I got in the woods, mosquitoes. And mosquitoes are still a little bit problematic. They're not horrendous, but they were buzzing around. I saw them landing on my pant leg, trying to bite me through it. I watched them for a while. The fabric was away from my skin, so I knew it couldn't bite me. So I watched to see how long it would try before the permethrin got it. And it was on there for a good 20 seconds or so, and I could see it trying to stick its needle nose through the fabric, which was a couple inches away from my skin. And then it just suddenly flew off. So I don't know if the permethrin got it or what happened there. But I also put my arm sleeves on, also for bug protection mostly, but they also help to cool me, as I've mentioned before. I was gonna zip off my pant legs because I was just sweltering, but now I seem to be at the top, and I'm headed down kind of flat and slightly downhill, so I'm not as hot now. I've cooled off. I had my Triscuits and peanut butter as a snack. I wasn't planning on eating so soon. It's 11:15 right now. Yeah, so the bug situation, I was just doing some research while I was on my break. Basically, it could be anything. It could be black flies, mosquitoes, gnats, chiggers, no-see-ums, horse flies, all that good stuff between here and Maine, really. The worst of the black fly season in Maine is pretty much winding down right now. It's usually May through mid-June, and today's June 15th. So I'm not too worried about black flies in Maine, but other areas along the trail I am. I do have my bug net. I will wear that over my head if I need to at some point, although I would like a hat with a brim that goes all the way around so it's not draped against my ears. You know, it holds it away from my face. So I may look for a new hat if I have to wear my bug net regularly. A hat with a wide brim goes all the way around. So only, like I said, 6.5 more miles. Tomorrow will be 8 or 9 mile day. Short day, but it's a lot of uphill all the way to the top of Mount Greylock. So I'm glad I'm breaking it up. I don't think I could have done 17 miles, especially starting at 9:45. There's just no way I would have done that. I would have been getting into Mount Greylock like at dark. It wouldn't have been fun. So, all right, I'll check back later. So I just took another break to rehydrate, rest, kind of cool off a little bit, sweat off my back, have a little snack, check my position. 3.5 miles to Cheshire. And one thing I had to do is, if you look at my waist belt, you see my little pouch isn't there anymore. I put it in my backpack. Here's why. Because I've lost so much weight, especially around the middle. That little belt pouch, my hip belt clips into that, which extends the hip belt, makes it longer. Because the ends of the hip belt, they don't meet like they normally do. They meet inside the back of the pouch. So it extends it by about 3 or 4 inches. Well, the problem was, because I lost weight around the middle, I couldn't cinch down my hip belt enough. I could tighten up my hip belt as tight as it would go. It still wasn't tight enough to make my pack sit on my hips. So the pack was slipping down onto my shoulders, causing shoulder pain. So I had 2 options. One is I have to buy a smaller hip belt, which I've ordered, and I have my wife send that to me in Killington, Vermont, when I get there in about 10 days. And hopefully I'll have it by then. I mean, it's got to get to our house first, and then she's got to send it to me. So fingers crossed it arrives in time. Until then, the only other solution is to take that pouch off and just use the hip belt as it's designed, because then I can cinch it down. I don't have that extra 3 to 4 inches of give, so to speak, in the belt. So anyway, it's still, still a heavy pack, but this helps more of the weight sit on my hips. So yeah, so I had to move down from a medium to a small belt in order to use the belt pouch. Seems kind of silly, but that's the way it is. So I don't know what this sign is supposed to be designating, because I'm only at mile 1580. What is hashtag Bamato Baxter 2,000 mile? I don't know. This is not the 2,000 mile mark. I'm not sure what that's all about. It's a little after 2, and I just took my 3rd break. Been taking breaks about every 2 miles or so, just because I have the luxury of only going 8 or 9 miles today, and it's pretty much flatter downhill from here on in to town. Unfortunately, the library's not open. I was hoping to go to the library and plug in my phone and just sit in the air conditioning and the quiet and do a little work on the phone, editing videos or what have you, organizing videos and photos. They're not open on Wednesdays. They're open like 3 days a week, like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or something weird like that, and with weird hours. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's a small town, obviously, but so that's not going to fly. I'll just have to go to the Father Time campsite after I get some ice cream at Diane's Twist. Got to get some ice cream first, then go over to the campsite and just probably just set up my tent and plug in my phone and do my work over there. Can't do anything over Wi-Fi, but It's fine. I have power at the campsite, so I'll be able to do a lot of organizing of videos and just doing stuff I didn't get a chance to do yesterday in the hotel. So I should be there within an hour.